Y'all ever thought about changing the world?
Yeah.
So how we go about it?
We gotta stop building up neighborhoods and start building up some communities.
I mean, literally, if not now, then when? If not you, then who?
It can't be me without we.
I just feel like we're waiting for somebody to come save us.
Like, we gotta start giving back.
That's a fact, bro.
We gotta do better.
Had a small hiccup.
About 20 minutes long. You go.
The nerves got into us.
Just a little nervous, you know.
And
First guest and all, you know. He was like,
The camera turned off about like 3 minutes into the first portion of the interview.
so please listen because it's
Stay tuned.
It was a
valuable
fantastic interview that just took place.
A lot of gems were dropped.
If you listen to what he has to say, you might end up voting for him. But it was a great interview, and we just want to inform you guys before getting into it that we're just going to put a picture of us, a snapshot of us right here, and then after about 30 minutes of a awesome episode, then the visual is going to turn back on you. You guys are going to watch
You're gonna see the second half of the video.
What you know about this?
What's good, y'all? I'm Roy.
I'm Bro.
It's Jeremiah.
And welcome back to another episode of We Gotta Do Better. You guys have been waiting for this one for a while and anticipating. We have a very special guest. Our first guest. This guy is...
Let him introduce himself.
Well, let him introduce himself. We got to do him the honors and actually introduce him. This is the Brooklyn Borough president. And he is also running for mayor. Eric Adams.
Thank you. It's really
Eric
good.
L.
Good. Yes, there you go. Really good to be here and, just engage in a real conversation. And I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we were very excited to even actually get the opportunity to connect with you.
Yeah, very grateful.
Never in a million years when we first started that we would think we was going to get such a big opportunity this fast. Only a couple episodes in. Man. Five episodes are out already out. 6 episodes are out.
It's a blessing.
And then now we're here. We're like, wow.
Episode number 7.
Yeah.
But you brothers, you are doing it, and which is really impressive. And this journey that I am on now of running for City Hall, you have my commitment that throughout this journey, I'm going to pop in and give you an update on how the campaign is going. And then even after, we have a studio in the city, WNYC. And you don't see a lot of chocolate in there.
Throw some in there.
Right. That's right.
In
And that's what we're going to do. I was just talking to a brother. I was talking to Ralph McDaniels from Video Music Box.
Okay.
Because he's there. And I was telling him, we need to utilize these governmental assets, for us also. And historically, we don't. And we're going to do a real cosmic shift. Because there's so many assets that the city has that really we don't have any input on.
Yeah, and I guess one of the questions was on actually why you're here was how did we come across, I guess, your desk, and what made you want to come connect with us? What made us so special that maybe we aligned with something that you do?
And first of all, when I heard about you, I was blown away. After the Million Man March took place, folks went back to their communities and started organizations, these groups and initiatives. There was a lot that was born out of the Million Man March. I remember coming back from D.C. on a train with some brothers, and we were all connecting. And, after the Black Lives Matter movement, folks may not still be marching in the street, but cats like you came together and say, listen, how do we use this moment? How do we use this movement?
That's where this birth.
And you're saying we have to do better because we do.
Yes.
And we have to be honest about that. And we don't have to beat each other up and talk down to each other, but we have to acknowledge we have to do better because we are better.
Yeah,
exactly. That's what
we got because I'm doing
every
better.
Every day we got to get better.
We're doing better with Eric Adams.
That's why we got to spark those conversations. Raise awareness, get in tune.
And I would, as we were, before we came on the program, just hearing the three of you as you're on your life journey and what you're doing. You don't hear about young brothers who are holding it down, went to school together, played ball together.
Yeah.
Doing your podcast, still doing your school, you teaching and the motivator. These are the stories that we need to hear. That's why this is so important, what you're doing. Someone is going to listen to and watch you and start changing their action. People are going to do better because they're watching you do better.
Yeah, and so far we have a whole bunch of people behind us, supporting us, and
We appreciate you all.
And we again, we appreciate you guys, because without you guys, then we wouldn't be here. Yeah,
Right.
We're doing this for you guys, and we're loving it. I guess
And we need each other.
Yeah.
When I look over this journey, man, I grew up I was born in Brooklyn, in Brownsville, and that story in itself was something. Made my mother was able to get us to Queens, St. Albans, 167th Street.
Okay, so you're over out here in Queens.
Queens, get the money.
Man, you already know.
And I'm telling you, there was nothing special about me, man. My good years, I was a D student.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I struggled. I would never beat people with brilliance. I beat them with endurance.
Oh,
And
that's
then
quick.
you know what I'm saying?
That's what's up.
wrote that one. Beat them with endurance.
It wasn't until I got into college that I started focusing better and getting on the dean's list. But it was a struggle, man. It was always a struggle. It was always, and I say this, man. If people don't believe in you, just believe in yourself.
So what?
Ooh,
Can
that-
I
that-
ask you, like, what was a turning point in your life? Like, at your, like, when you were coming up, that made you want to, like, come down this journey.
I like that. My brother and I got arrested. I was running numbers in South Jamaica, Queens, at a little numbers joint, and we had
Southside.
This was before the lottery.
Yeah.
Heard you.
And we were arrested in the 103rd precinct. The precinct Sean Bell was shot and killed in.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Right.
R.I.P.
And the cops, they beat us bad in the basement of the precinct. And my mom came to get us, and they were laughing at her. She had Cain and the Bible, and they were like, leave him. He'll never be anything. And I remember,
Look at him now.
right?
All right. He might be the next mayor. Look at him now.
And I remember hearing her voice. I didn't see her, but I heard her. And I was sitting in the cell, and I was crying because they were just laughing. Hey, look at this woman. Look at her clothing. Look at her knees. She has scars. I mean, she was praying for 4 boys.
Yeah.
And it was a brother that was,
That's rough.
right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There was a brother in the other cell, and, he was like, homie, don't worry about it. You're going to be all right. And I made a promise that day. I said, you know what? I sold my mother into emotional slavery, and I'm going to buy her freedom back. And I went on
That's
a
deep.
Gangster.
4 payment, I like to say, installment plan. First installment came after I got into the police department and became a captain, started 100 Blacks in Law Enforcement, and she was at my promotional ceremony. That was the first installment. Second installment came when I became a state senator. And so she saw me break the law, then enforce the law, then I went to Albany to write the law. Third installment came when I was able to become the first Black borough president, and she was sitting there in the audience. I'm going to be paid in full in 2021 when I become the mayor of the city of
The accolade list
what I'm
is
saying, brother?
tremendous. Yes.
Yeah, you making
Motivation.
moves, I was like 4 points, 4 plans. You already know, man.
That motivation, motivation. And every step I saw her in the audience, and I told her, Mom, I'm going to pay you back.
And look, and that's exactly what you're doing right now.
That's what this mission is about.
Yeah,
You
that's
mentioned-
about the journey. It's like the vision that he had. You
Yeah.
know, it's the vision that
You
you
know?
had, and you got it done, no matter what.
Right. And, it's been a journey, man. You cannot imagine the scope of running to be the mayor of the city.
That's
Yeah, that's
a
a
big
really
thing.
big thing. That's a big thing, and no,
You mentioned being a part of the police department. So you were on both sides of being a victim of police brutality to
Yeah.
actually being a part of the police force and enforcing the law. What vision do you have from both sides? How does that?
And that's real, because the prerequisite to prosperity is public safety. You have to be safe. But you don't need a trade-off. Safety and justice they go together. Right. And so whenever people tell you that, well, we have to do whatever we have to do to you if you want us to be safe. No, I don't buy that. You could have both. You could be safe and you could have justice. And there are things that I'm going to do as the mayor to show how we could have a safe city, but a just city, and we could change the ecosystem of public safety, because it shouldn't be heavy-handed all the time, and we need to play a better role in how we change just the whole mindset of public safety.
So that would be true. So would that be like starting in training in like the academy on how to handle certain situations?
Yeah.
I was just about to ask.
Because it's easy to talk about, oh, when this happens, this is how you're supposed to react. But then, how do you get that fear of, as a cop? Sometimes there's the fear factor.
Yeah, they can look at me.
They feel threatened. So there's a human aspect to it. How can you not control it, but how can you prepare for things like that?
Yeah, like what kind of
when someone else brings their own prejudice to the situation,
right.
It's hard to control. You can say, yeah, I would never do that until you're in that position, and now your natural instinct or your natural thought process is to
do that.
But that's not. Yeah, that's. I feel like that's just based on that person. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, like everybody has different backgrounds and they're brought up differently.
Yeah.
So if like some cops are grown up to, be scared of us, they not really have been around us, like they've never met us.
My question is, and how do we attack that at the root?
And
at the root, how do we get
that? What you said is powerful. So there's a couple of things we need to do. Think about this for a moment. When we were having problems in education, and as you said earlier, we encourage black and brown men and women to go into education. When we were having a problem in healthcare, while grandmothers were not getting the proper medical care, we encourage the historical black colleges, encourage black and brown people to go into healthcare, become doctors. The only area we don't encourage people to go in and reform from the inside is law enforcement. That's the only area. We walk in the store, we buy a loaf of bread, we pay our taxes to hire
other people.
Right. And then if someone comes to you and say, for the most part, you sitting around the table on Thanksgiving and say, listen, I'm going to the police department. What are you, a sellout? What are you, Uncle Tom?
That's definitely a conversation.
Let me tell you what a real Uncle Tom is to me. You go pay someone else to abuse you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, people were saying, listen, we're going to have a movement where we're not paying, none of our tax dollars can go to the police department, then I respect you. But if you saying you're going to pay for racists to police you with your dollars, that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it doesn't.
You know what I'm saying?
So with that, you know how there was the whole defund the police. How do you feel about that? Because I actually don't think you should defund the police.
Right.
It's almost like how you were saying is just attack it at the source. It has nothing to do with taking away money, because now that actually hinders our safety. You know what I'm saying? What was your take on the defunding the police movement? How do you feel about that?
I remember, my mother has just good old-fashioned common sense. And she said, boy, what the hell is wrong with those people? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So those are white folks.
Okay.
Yeah. And some of us caught onto the narrative. Trust funds babies coming into South Jamaica, Queens, trying to get a narrative for us. Here's what I say we do. Let's look at the police budget with all of our agencies and say, are we using our tax dollars right? Instead of being reactive, let's be proactive. So we spend close to almost $400 million a year on police overtime. I don't need you to sit in court for 6 hours. We could use Zoom. We could use WebEx. And I didn't hire you to do clerical duties. I hired you to do law enforcement. I don't need you sitting back somewhere in a barrier detail.
Yeah.
So we could civilianize the department in areas where it could be civilians, which is cheaper. Then we could use technology to get the job done better. Now you take the money you save and you become proactive. What do I mean by proactive?
So now you're getting ahead of it, and now there's programs in place
That prevent crime.
Yeah.
30% of the men and women on Rikers Island are dyslexic. So if we would take money out of the police department that we save and have dyslexia screening in every school, which is only $2,000 per school, we will identify people who are dyslexic. They won't think they can't learn and start slinging drugs and hanging out on the corner. They will learn.
Yeah.
Every year, think about this number for a moment. Every year, we know that 6,700 people are going to age out of foster care. If we just take $50 million out of the police budget, and instead of them aging out at 21, they age out at 26. Instead of only 12% graduating from high school, 90% will graduate from high school. Only 3% enroll in college. They're more likely to be a victim of a crime, more likely to participate in criminal behavior, suffer from mental health illnesses, depression, homelessness. Yeah. So we wait until people are in crises instead of preventing the crisis in the first place.
You actually hit it right on the nail, because that was actually one of the questions from our audience. It was, how are you going to accolade tax dollars to people who need it better, who it fits, and you kind of hit it right on the nail on kind of how you would look at the budget and accolade where money needs to go. Yeah, and you
gotta look at the cause. You gotta look at the cause, like what causes it, what makes it happen,
and
you know
then get in front of that. That was definitely.
We don't. Not at all. Not at all. On that side,
we don't. And so, first of all, remember that card game, 3-card Monty?
Yeah, the hustle game.
They playing us, man.
They hustle. Let me
tell you something. We are being played all over the country, not only New York. Think about it for a moment. If you take the stats of black boys and men, if you remove the stats of who was the victim of a crime, you no longer have a crime problem. Mm-hmm. If you remove the stats of who's discharging weapons in the cities, you no longer have a gun problem. If you remove the stats of who's failing out level 1s and level 2s in education, you no longer have an education problem. Mm-hmm. If you remove the unemployment stat, black and brown men, you no longer have an unemployment problem. Yeah. Systemic poverty is profitable for a body of people who eats off of black and brown boys who are broken and turn into broken black and brown men. So there's no incentive to stop it, because if you stop it, they're no longer going to eat.
Yeah, you're not making no money off of that.
Right.
And this is why we got Eric Adams trying to do better for New York City.
We gotta do better.
Because I'm doing better.
we gotta do better. And so what the message, the reason that there's a challenge that people don't want Eric as the mayor. You know, there's a story in the Bible. I always remember Matthew 21:12 when Jesus walked in the temple and they were doing wrong in the temple. He turned the table over. I'm not
going to vipers.
I'm not going to City Hall to sit at the table.
You ain't coming here to play.
Not at all.
You coming here to turn up some tables.
To make something happen.
Eric Adams is turning up tables in New York City. That's what he doing.
You want to be the change? You gotta do your thing.
You have to. And you know, now let me tell you, always remember this quote. When I was in South Africa, I'll never forget this quote. Archbishop Desmond Tutu said, "We spend a lifetime pulling people out of the river. No one goes upstream and prevent them from falling in the first place." That's how we run this city. We have a downstream government. We wait until someone falls into homelessness.
To try to get them out.
Wait until someone falls into drug abuse, falls into crime, falls into lack of education. 80% of the men and women upon entering Rikers Island don't have a high school diploma or equivalency diploma. So we wait. It's more money and let me pull you out of crime instead of preventing you
from getting into crime. Right. It's the business. Yeah. It's a business.
It's like the schools. It's the schools.
Same thing.
That's right. It's just the schools. If there was more mentorship in the schools, it was more programs in the schools for the kids to come back to go to after school. You know what I'm saying? Probably wouldn't be none of
like more funding for the schools and stuff like that.
And then school districts are the budgets are determined by isn't it determined by the income of the area?
Like our
So-
high school, they said that our high school is poor.
We're
And
at
we
risk
didn't-
school in
yeah.
an at risk neighborhood,
Yeah,
so
low
we don't get
funding.
as much funding as
Yeah.
a school that is not.
No, see, we need a real fair funding model.
Yeah.
And if you're in the school districts where the parents are able to raise $500,000 because of their economic status, they know how to write grants, they know how to do so many other things. We need to balance that out in those schools who are in high need areas. But we're creating the high needs. And I am saying we need to redefine the educational experience. You know,
My question to you is like, do you have any like ideas or plans as far as like what you want to do to redefine it?
yes, without a doubt. First of all, our educational system is broken. We have not changed education since the first time someone sat inside a classroom. It's so antiquated. Everything around us has changed, and we still doing education using rope learning.
The same thing.
We're doing the same
Everything
thing.
else
It's
is changing,
unbelievable.
but the way you teach someone else is exactly the same from the
Yeah.
first time they started. You
Yeah.
come and sit in the class.
So
yeah.
now check this out, and people should look this up. So I have been meeting with a group of neurologists and pediatricians I meet with different people in different professions to think differently. This is a red pill, blue pill moment for those who watch The Matrix.
Yeah.
There are too many blue pill people that's running our country.
Yes, it really is. It really is. Blue pill is not it. It's not it at all.
So going back to your question. So neurologists say that the first 1,000 days of life determines the genetic markers on a child. The first classroom is in a mother's womb. Everybody talks about K through 12. That's wrong. Education is prenatal to career. Mm-hmm. And so every mother should be, for her first child, she should be given a doula to teach brain development, the right food, the right nutrition. You have the wrong folic acid, the wrong iron, your child could be born with cognitive issues, learning disabilities, and it turns on in the mother's womb. Genetic markers are turned on that could live with for a lifetime. Do you know? This is so mind-boggling. Let's say a mother is pregnant with a baby girl. 20 weeks of gestation. That baby girl has every egg she's going to have for the rest of her life.
Wow.
If that mother is traumatized, the baby she's carrying is traumatized, and now science is saying the eggs are traumatized.
Yeah, I learned that in one of my psychology classes. It was saying like when it's called like teratogens, where you basically poisoning the baby in the womb from all the stress that goes on that you're experiencing, and now you're putting it onto the baby. But that's actually crazy that science can show that it's going from the mother to the baby to the baby's eggs.
Right.
That's actually ridiculous.
That's how powerful stress is.
Right.
Yeah, that's how
And so
powerful.
what it does, which is interesting, we're made up of DNA. What it does is it turns on genetic markers, and it's epigenetics. Your environment, everything that's around, is actually turning on these markers that really hurt your lifespan, hurt your mental disorders. And so, but what science is showing that you can, they thought at one time once the genetic markers were broken, basically, there was nothing you could do. But they're learning now that based on how you nurture and love that child, you can reverse that condition. But we need to teach that to people to do so.
I feel like
And so my education, just to get to your question, so my education, every mother gets a doula for her first child. She learns brain development. 80% of the brain neuron grows in the first 1,000 days.
All right.
She learns nutrition. She learns nurturing, all the part of parent. The most important job you could have is a parent. When you start your job the first time, you get training on your job. No one gives you training when you have your child. Then I'm getting rid of summers off for school.
No summers
no
off.
summers off. That's too many days off.
Hold on. Wait. Hold on. You said no summers off.
Go follow me.
Yeah.
I understand.
Wait. Let me hear him out.
No. And before he even explains it, remember how I said last episode? I was saying you got to get your reps in, as many reps as possible.
Your mental reps.
Why are we taking breaks?
Nah, I don't want to hear none of that.
Why are you not constantly stimulated? No, 'cause think about it.
Can I hear the man talk?
But I agree. I actually agree with that. Sorry for the kids that y'all got to go to school during the summer.
That's That's cool.
It's too much off time.
No, but
That's the man talk.
check it out. Because out of crises comes opportunities. And so what I'm saying is, all the science is saying, and you know, as an educator, there is a drop in brain learning because of those 2 months of being stationary. In affluent communities, that stimulation is still taking place. You're going to the museum, you're traveling abroad, you're still learning.
Yeah.
But if you're in 40 projects, you got 2 months of doing nothing. So
that's what I'm saying.
So what I'm saying is that, hey, you don't have to sit in the class, Bakim, but through the summer, you're going to have 2 hours.
Something stimulating.
Always be learning.
Something
Always be
stimulating.
learning. Yeah.
2 hours
You're
a day
gonna
of
learn.
instruction.
You're gonna learn critical thinking, working in groups, communication.
Yeah.
You're gonna learn the skills
That
that
you're
everyone
necessary.
is saying what the next 20 years are supposed to be.
Yeah, the most important ones.
Right. Oxford University put out a report. They said 40% of the jobs that we're training people for today won't be around.
No.
40%.
That's tough.
So we're not talking about only self-driving cars. Just go right down to Wall Street, right? On the trading room floor at its peak, it was 5,000 people there. Now it's down to 500. Lemonade Insurance. Lemonade Insurance no longer use stockbrokers.
Because they don't need it. The technology already.
Yeah.
So if we don't start changing what we're teaching our young people, so they could be prepared for the future, then they're gonna be left out. And
You need to adapt to the changing.
You do right because the jobs are changing so rapidly that in a lifetime, even you brothers, you're gonna change your career several times in a lifetime. Those days of 20 years, 30 years, that's over.
You know, it's really crazy. I was talking to one of my mans about that, and it's like the fact that our generation, we don't settle. Like, we're not complacent with staying with one job. We always looking for the next thing. We always
What else? What could we do better than
We
this?
just want to
Elevation.
elevate. That's all we
You
want
have
to
to
do.
always do something else
So it
other
just-
than what you're doing.
So basically, you're saying that it just starts with the career. It starts with the baby.
It
from
starts
the,
at home.
that's
How we
starts at
leave
home.
also, everything
You gotta
starts
always be
at your
learning,
house.
and the curriculum has to change.
It does.
If your
It
household
does.
doesn't have the information or the ability to get the information, that's when you're at a disadvantage.
So hold on, my question. So you said that you want to start from when they're mothers, like when they have the
prenatal,
right?
Yeah.
So
This is
Because some moms don't.
This is
some moms
education
don't
for
know
moms.
that.
hold on,
Right,
real quick.
Yeah.
So when they get pregnant, they have to like sign up for a class, something like that. You planning on like having it?
No, that's a great question. So we have a disjointed education and healthcare system. It's disjointed. So my pediatricians, particularly if you go to health and hospital, that's under the city's control. My pediatricians, when that mother comes in, I'm pregnant. Right then, you're going to get a free doula.
All right, that's what's up. Okay,
Yeah.
that's
That
what
doula is going to give you a video showing you the birth of that child, showing you the food you eat.
so immediately as soon as I'm pregnant,
You
get you
go-
into the
that-
program.
So
Now
that's like
you're
a
into the
protocol
program.
now that you're gonna try
That's
to
amazing.
establish that. That's,
Yeah,
that's
that's
awesome.
amazing.
It's going to be built into the actual process. That pediatrician, we have a disjointed, our educational system, our pediatricians, our educators in 3K, all of this should be connected. It should be a continuous handoff from the time that mother
like a
says
great
she's
plan.
pregnant. Right, she's pregnant. She's going to get information. You carrying that baby. Here's how you're going to prepare.
Because a lot of people don't have the preparation, and you see that
And
actually
that's why,
affects them.
yeah. They
'Cause
try to
it's
say
a
that I had
pipeline.
ADHD.
Yeah.
Because of that, you know what I'm saying? I had ADHD. I was like a little bit crazy, but my IQ was up there. But
Right.
they used to say that, and they said that's a cause. They say that ADHD could come from having birth defects. Is a birth
Tell
defect.
you, go look into how many of these issues we're dealing with, the pain that people are living with, the trauma. How do you go out?
That
and
runs
sh-
deep.
and-
Wait, before we get into this right here, let's go and switch gears for 2 seconds,
Yeah,
get
I'm
the
about to say,
camera
let him-
restarted, and we're going to get back into it. All right. Save that for the second half.
And we are sponsored by us.
And we are sponsored by We Gotta Do Better. Now, I hope you guys are enjoying the show. We're here with Eric Adams. He's running for mayor.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, we're trying to figure out, can New York City do better with Eric Adams? And I think we can.
Because we got to do better. 'Cause I'm doing better.
All right. We are back from a little break, and we got to jump right back into it. Did you guys want to switch gears, or y'all want to?
Nah, did you have anything else to say about that?
So it's so important what you are doing by engaging in this higher level of education. You know, when my son was born, for 3 months he was on liquid food.
Okay.
Because his digestive system was not ready for solid food.
Okay.
Our intellectual capacity is the same way. A lot of people are not ready for solid food. They want you to give them liquid food. Mm-hmm. When you get on this show and you start dropping some solid food on folks, they can't digest. It's going to take them a while.
It's over their heads. It's over their head. They're like, I'm not ready for that. Yeah.
But
people got weak stomachs, man.
Right. But you can't stop feeding solid food
what
because
they
people
need.
are not ready.
They need it,
You know, this is, we got to do better as a solid food conversation.
Mm-hmm. And that's the whole point of this whole thing is just to have conversations. Have them in your household, and that's where it starts, in your household.
Because there was some conversation I could have with these guys that I couldn't have with some other people that I had. You know what I'm saying? You know, and it's just... Some people probably feel like that, you know what I'm saying? So they don't get to hear certain things they want to hear.
Exactly.
You know?
And it's funny because when you hear these conversations, a lot of people, when you hear people talk, you reflect on yourself, you question yourself. Yeah. And then I've talked to a few people and they're like, oh, like hearing you guys talk made me like think about certain things. And because of that, I reflect on my life. Right. And now I'm trying to do better.
And what I love, shout out to Marcel.
Absolutely.
This is one of our teammates, a young guy. He was just watching what we're doing, and he was saying that just by us kickstarting with this podcast right here, it started him.
Love it.
He wanted to have a Facebook group where it's space where people can have conversations just like this. We might have to steal that idea, but we definitely going to support what he's doing, and we love what he's doing, and we need more people like that who get inspired and take action and want to inspire the next person.
And we become proactive because it's a mindset thing. It's more so, we live in neighborhoods right now,
right?
And we want to destroy that. We want communities because we want to be able to go to these shops. We own these shops. We need to start.
And it started with the conversations just like the one we're having right here.
Growing up on Hollis, like it was times when I was just on the streets doing knucklehead stuff, like stealing phones, just doing knucklehead stuff. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really have anything else to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just outside, 14, 15.
Because nobody was talking to you.
Nobody was talking to me. I wanted to play football, and I didn't play football, and I just waited till I graduated junior high school, and went to Jack, and that's when I met Speedy. And then after that, I met Jeremiah, and we played 4 years at college. 4 years at high school football. So I feel like, maybe if there was like a program at my junior high school was right across 192, right across from where I lived. There was more programs in that school. I feel like I would have been like, how can I say, like,
if there's more programs in school,
I would have been exposed. If I would have been exposed to it, then I would have been able to I would have been seeing different things. I would have had different opportunities, but.
And that was that was part of the fight that you saw in certain schools. They had a better PSAL program.
Yeah. Speaking on that, hold on. I do want to say first and foremost, Bayside is trash. But it's all right. But it comes down to funding. Like you can see the difference. Like some schools, when you go to E-Hall, you go to Lincoln, you see the funding.
Yeah, the funding is there.
You got Jack. We had the garbage bag jerseys.
We had to get hand-me-downs from the Jets just to have jerseys.
Practice jerseys.
But
and even programs.
Yeah,
you did not have the same level of programming in the school. It was as though, listen, you guys just need to be happy that you have a place to go to school.
That's definitely the vibe.
Here's what this is, and then take it and go.
Yeah, that's it.
Make something of it.
Make something of it. That's what we really had to do.
And that's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah.
But some people don't
have that willpower.
They don't have that grit or have someone behind them pushing them. Believe it or not, however hard you think our lives are, we've had support and gotten through.
Oh, absolutely.
Some people feel like they don't even have that level of support. No one is there, so then they slip through the cracks. You know what I'm saying? So
and far too many are slipping, through the cracks, and I just can't continue to say over and over again, just elevating what you brothers are doing.
Thank you, man.
Because you are you're starting this whole new generation of not only talking about it but being about it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Absolutely.
Because
about taking action.
You know what I'm saying? Everyone can walk around and talk about something, but how do you take the step? You didn't know anything about editing.
Yeah.
I
You
knew
ain't know nothing.
absolutely nothing about
And look
editing,
what you're
and
doing
out of
now.
nowhere, I just started editing, and now I'm an editor. But and it's a teamwork thing because now all three of us know how to edit, and now we're taking turns. Just all right, you do this episode, I'll do this. Now with
Step out, man. You
yeah,
gotta step.
it takes
you
those
gotta
steps.
step
That
out. You gotta step out. Circling back, running for mayor. Right? Running for mayor is it's a $7.2 million. Now, where does a Negro from South Queens get $7.2
you don't know
million?
nothing about that's not that type of money not over here.
No, sir.
I mean, if 50 Cent come back around to my job and give me a little bit more money, but
So you got all these people in the race, right? And people said, don't worry about Eric Adams. Black and brown candidates.
Yeah,
can't-
they doubting you. That's
right.
all it is.
They can't raise the money.
Yeah.
They can't do it. So
but they fear you.
Yeah.
see, I know.
Yeah.
And so the filings come out, and all the candidates in the race, and everyone that's running, I'm the only one that got to 7 million.
That's what's up.
Because there's something about you that people, when they hear you talk, they feel that.
Yeah, I feel it too.
Queens get some money.
And I tell everyone, think about this for a moment. If we're honest with ourselves, I don't care who you are, if you reflect somewhere in your lineage, it's a blue-collar worker. Someone that saved money to put food on the table and invest in the future. It's that blue-collar spirit. So I'm not fancy. I didn't go to Harvard and Yale. I went to jail.
I went to
You know what I'm
jail.
saying? My nails are not manicured. I have callus. There's nothing special about me, but I have blue-collar common sense. That's what I have. And when you talk to other people that connects with that blue-collar mindset, people who worked hard,
That know that you actually understand them. That
Saw people
you were once in that circle. You're not outside looking
I
in.
feel like we need more of that because that's
someone
really what's going
that's
on.
from literally started from the bottom.
You right.
Someone that's from
Now we here.
From the bottom, now
Right
my
now.
old friend here.
Yeah, we started in Jabril basement. Fast forward 2 years from now, we gonna have our own studio. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
But nah,
You know,
definitely.
but Mom told me when I came home that day from 103rd Precinct, she said, "Baby, listen, if you are fortunate to live long enough, you're going to be unfortunate to experience pain. You need to learn how to turn pain into purpose. And you're going to be in dark places. You decide if it's a burial or planting." Like 4 years ago, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Lost my sight. Doctor told me, "You're going to be blind, Eric, in a year." Had permanent nerve damage in my hands and feet. He said, "You're going to lose some fingers and toes." Wow. And high blood pressure, high cholesterol. And they said, "Listen, you got to go on insulin and all these medications." I went into the doctor's office with no medication. I walked out. I thought I was goddamn Dwayne Reed with all those medications. But I decided, man, I heard something inside. Let me tell you something. Our ancestors speak to us. We need to just shut up enough to listen. And something told me, I went to the computer, and instead of typing living with diabetes like they told me to, I typed reverse it. And I was able to start a whole food plant-based diet. 3 weeks after that, my vision came back. 3 months later, my nerve damage went away. My diabetes went in remission.
Wow.
My 82-year-old mother joined me, and Mom was on insulin for 7 years, diabetic for 15 years. After 2 months, she got off her insulin.
How old was she?
82.
82. And how old are you?
I'm 60.
That's what's up. Black
You know
don't
what I'm
crack.
saying?
He don't even look 60.
Yeah, black don't crack. Black don't crack.
And the whole body changed, man. My body's tight, man. I don't have a six pack. I have a case, man.
It's cool. It's cool.
You got the energy. You got the energy there.
But this is the thing. This is the thing we actually need to learn.
I'm 60, I'm trying to look like that. All right? That's what's up.
Yeah, this is what we need to learn. You know what I'm saying?
Like implementing a health program, saying this is how the body works, this what works.
There you go.
Because
Yeah.
putting all that medicine, that man-made medicine, that's not good
You know
for
what
your
I'm saying?
body.
Killing
Holistic
us,
stuff.
man. Killing us.
Holistic
Killing us. So, the medicine you take, it's destroying your kidneys. You have to take medicine to counter the medicine. And so I have a program at Bellevue Hospital, first of its kind in America, lifestyle medicine, where we're showing people how to reverse their diseases. People said it was impossible. We're reversing we're reversing the diseases. I just finished a book called Healthy at Last. I'm gonna give you brothers a copy.
Thank you, man.
Yeah,
Go get
appreciate
that.
that.
Yeah.
Healthy at last.
You know.
I'll throw that in my library.
Because we connect what we fail to understand. Everybody talks about the Willie Lynch letter. The Willie Lynch letter is our recipes. We were on a plantation. The slave master said, I'm going to give you recipes that's going to continue the destruction of your people. We don't have to worry about Eric Adams being the first black president. We're going to make sure the food he eats is going to cause him to be blind. Ken Thompson, 50 years old, the first black district attorney in Brooklyn, died from colorectal cancer, food related. You know, all of our heroes are dying. Right? And that's the real revolution of your generation. You can't walk around with a dashiki and say Black Lives Matter, and then you stuffing down Kentucky Fried Chicken.
And we just killing ourselves. Yeah. We poisoning ourselves. Yeah,
doing what they want us to do, basically.
We gotta do better.
Look what they put in our neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? Like they put the Kennedy Fried, they put the liquor stores, all of that. So.
Yeah, and so it becomes an uncomfortable conversation. Because if we're real, we gotta be real.
Yeah.
We can't. It's no have. This is 2021, the year of adulthood. We have to make adult decisions about our lives.
Like what I love that you said was when a doctor gave you your diagnosis, you're gonna go blind, you're gonna lose your fingers. This is what is going to happen to you. He heard that and he was saying, I don't accept that.
Right.
Right. He didn't let his circumstances
determine his outcome.
Yeah, what was going on. Yeah, my friend has a shirt, and one of his shirts says, "Faith has the ability to override facts." Yeah. So the fact that the matter is at that point, yes, he was.
Do you remember the friends? What's the company that you?
Flashletics. Shout out to my boy Afro.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Go
get that. Go get that.
But you had that faith that. It doesn't matter. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm gonna overcome this.
Yeah,
and that's the mindset that we need. That no matter what someone else is telling you, that's not they don't define you.
They only speaking from their perspective.
Right.
No one defines. There's something in you that if you have that conviction, you're gonna get it done somehow, some way. And
that's
just
the
in
drive,
story.
man. That's the drive, and that is the drive we need to reintroduce into our lives.
Yeah.
We're so much better. So much better
than what we are right now. We can always do better. We can always be better. That's it. Every day.
That's exactly why we got to do better.
I have here's a question.
Yes.
So say you don't become the mayor. What's next? How is Eric Adams still going to be doing better for New York City without being in office? Because what steps are you still going to be taking to?
I love that. Well, first of all, and this is so important. Never define yourself by the destiny. Enjoy the journey, because we don't. The universe and ancestor will determine the destiny. We need to just enjoy the journey. Be present in the moment. You look over how many people just knew they were going to have something and something just snatched it away. So I am enjoying every moment. If I wasn't running for mayor, I wouldn't be sitting down right now talking to three solid brothers like you.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to live this moment. What I've been doing these last 6 years while I was running, the people I've been meeting, the doors I've been behind, I'm just going to enjoy it. I have a good life. When I finish, if the universe and the ancestors don't want me to be the mayor, they may be preparing me for my real journey
for something else.
So I'm just going to, if I'm not elected, I'm going to grow a beard, wear white all day, and grow some weed, and just sit back and call it a wrap.
That's what's up.
Yeah, man.
We get caught up on the destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The journey.
Well, focus on the journey.
Focus on the journey, because it's all about the process.
Enjoy
You fall
the
in love,
process.
because when you get there, it's like,
Damn,
you went through all of that.
I feel like there should never be. There should always be
a next destination.
A next destination.
Yeah,
All right, now where we gonna go?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because once you get there, now what?
That's the next stop. You gotta go to the next stop.
Yeah, the next step. That's what potential is. Potential is what you have the ability to get, but you haven't actually reached it yet. So we have unlimited potential.
We do.
But we don't know how much potential we
Unless
have.
you step out your comfort zone.
Yeah.
You know what?
You
have
can't
to
grow
be
in comfort.
constantly in a state of discomfort.
Yeah.
Because growth is not comfort. A seed that pushes through dirt is fighting against the inertia of comfort to become a flower or a tree. We have to constantly be in a state of healthy discomfort. You shouldn't be in a state of someone making you uncomfortable, but you should be in a constant state of, then I grow. When I see, at the end of the day, there's two things I do every evening. One is, how did I grow today? How did I grow today? The second is I have this 100-point list where I have to get 100 points by the end of the night. And if I don't reach 100 points, with whatever is the gap, I put the money in a jar and I donate it at the end of the week. So those 100 points is, I'll get 3 points if I say hello to someone I didn't know before, 5 points if I buy a meal for someone that was in need.
Per day? This is like a daily
every
thing?
day.
Daily day,
Every
yeah.
day.
Oh, that's doing
I
better.
build-
I'm about to add that to my repertoire.
I built
That's doing
into
better.
my life,
All right.
I built in the intentional behavior of contributing into the universe, because I think the universe has a social bank. And if you're not depositing into that bank, then when you need to withdraw, there's nothing there for you. And that's why a lot of cats never get anything.
Because they're not giving anything.
Yeah, you gotta give before you can receive. That's it.
You get out what you put in.
Yeah.
So
No doubt, brother.
and you're definitely putting in your life purpose into like
you
what
put
you're
in the
doing,
work,
and obviously, hopefully, you become able so you can get out exactly what you be putting in. 'Cause
That's it.
that's
But that's the energy.
Yeah, that's the energy that we need. That's the energy that we need, man. But we're extremely, personally, I'm extremely grateful to meet you. We are extremely grateful to have you here on this podcast, and we just hope that, we pray that you become mayor of New York City.
We together, we would rise and we would do better. And, you brothers inspired me. I was really excited to come
We appreciate
here.
that.
Be a
Appreciate
part of
that.
this. You inspired me. There's a question mark that lingers over our community. Are we going to be fine? You take that question mark and you straighten it into an exclamation point and say, "You're damn right."
yeah. We are going to
Affirm what you want. Affirm
We
it.
are going to be fine.
Yes.
We are going to be doing better.
So that's it. Episode 7, Mr. Eric L.
Eric
Adams.
Adams, please again go look into his policy. Go support him, and we appreciate you coming out here. This is an honor. We never in a million years we thought we would even be sitting next to someone just like you. And hopefully we have you open. Hopefully you open the door for more people to be sitting in the same exact seat. You set the bar so high that I don't know, this seat might be vacant for a while.
Yeah.
But any last questions y'all have in terms of policies or whatever?
As far as that, we appreciate you coming out here.
Thank you.
This is episode 7. We gotta do better.
We got to do better.
So let me
you just make your message to people.
And I want to make a suggestion to you. There's a mayor's campaign. You should get together with a group of young people and demand that there's a debate that you sponsor and force every candidate to identify what is their young people agenda for the city. We have all these other folks hosting the debate. You should make them come do a debate right in your hood, right in your neighborhood, and demand, listen, you want to come and you want the young people vote, you need to come and allow us to
Speak to
understand.
us.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And we have a younger following. So to, like Marcel, like how the Facebook group with about over 100 just young people.
Yeah.
Yes,
Definitely,
yes.
we can probably get something going.
We can
where
get something going. Definitely got to do that.
They gotta. Whoever wants to run for office, they gotta come to us.
We gotta see. We gotta talk to the people that we're putting in office. We have to see what their
and
policies
how are they gonna earn our vote? What are they bringing?
Like, what are you doing? What are you doing for the community?
That's right.
So
That's right.
that matters.
What
a lot.
are you bringing to us that's actually tangible? That we see the tangible
There you
change.
go. There you go. But register. No matter who you vote for, exercise that power.
Yeah.
Definitely register to vote.
Don't think
Yes,
your
we
vote
haven't
doesn't
yet.
count. Don't think
Everyone's
that.
vote counts.
Especially in other than the presidency, these elections right here, these are the ones that actually really do matter.
Yeah,
But
to be honest, these
the local local
makes
government is
the city.
Yeah.
That's what
Yes.
makes the city
Yes.
run.
Yes.
So on a micro scale, you got to focus on those things because they make the changes in our city.
Well said. Well said.
All right, let's go.
So a change starts with us. Change starts with you. Change starts with Eric Adams. Eric Adams is doing better.
we all got to do better,
And
man.
yeah, we're gonna wrap it up.
Actually, hold on.
Appreciate
Before we wrap it up, we have one more question for you.
Yes.
How can we reach out to you on social media?
All handles Eric Adams for NYC. Eric Adams for NYC. And you can also go to Eric Adams 2021 as well, as which is our website. But Eric Adams for NYC.
And this is where people can donate to the campaign
If
support,
donate-
get information on you.
Yes, donate to the campaign is ericadams2021.com. Every dollar turns into $8.
Okay.
Eric
So
Adams,
it's matched by the
2021.
By the city.
Okay.
Eric Adams 2021, baby.
Adams
Again.
2021. Let's say the motto. You gotta say the motto for us.
we got to do better.
We got to do better.
That's right. You gotta do better.
Appreciate
Episode
you guys for joining us.
7. Stay
Hope
tuned.
you enjoyed the episode. We got a lot of more things coming up. 2021 is gonna be a big year for you guys, big year for us, and that's it.
You know, it was a great opportunity, you know, to interview and speak, you know, conversate with a guy of his stature. You know, it was very, very insightful.
What was it? I ain't go to Harvard a year. I went to jail.
Yeah, he
I
didn't
ain't
go to Harvard
Oh,
a year.
I
He
went to jail.
I respect it.
You feel me? It's
He was very down to earth.
yeah, very down to earth. He was talking, basically saying like, you know,
Shout out to the OG. That's what's up.
He was spending some gems,
Yeah.
and you could see the wisdom in what he was saying.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything that wasn't practical or anything
Yeah.
foreign. This was his life that he experienced, and he just putting it into action.
yeah.
How the poster that was made, it was putting words to action, putting action to the words that he was saying.
Boom.
And I actually just because I didn't really even know how the vibe was gonna go, just because having a politician come to the show.
Yeah, it was
You don't know how a politician is gonna how the interaction is gonna go, whether he was gonna be so serious or whatever. As soon as he came into the house, he felt at home. I felt like that was my uncle. You know what I'm saying? That was my older uncle. Yeah, and
Uncle Adams.
Uncle Adams.
Uncle Adams. Shout
But
out to Uncle Adams.
he was definitely very, very cool. Love the spirit. Love what he stood for.
Very
Love
down to earth.
and
Truly, it was a great interaction.
that right there for us. We'll never forget that moment right there.
Yeah, that's a never forgetful.
That's a pivotal moment. That's gonna be something in our story together on how far we go after that. We gonna use this right here. Like, damn,
exactly.
remember that story? You remember we met Eric Adams and you got the records.
Yeah.
We just didn't.
It's okay,
we just
guys.
didn't put the memory card. No, we didn't delete the other video.
He had previous videos.
and we
It's
just
fine.
didn't
And he
delete
didn't
it.
delete it.
And the storage messed up.
A lot of things he was saying was really insightful, you know, especially the stuff with the genetics, and you know, a lot of women don't really know that the stuff that they eating before birth, like before they have a baby, could be affecting the baby, and the stress that they going through right now, is affecting the baby.
So
you know what I'm saying?
he's like he was going to the root of the problem
go to
instead
the
of
root cause.
and he was saying like medicine's really just worried about the symptoms of what
Yeah.
happened, but you could be proactive in fighting whatever it is. So
you can change like the generational cycle of, you know,
just by getting in front of it. So
Yeah.
now we know the problem. He was saying, well, whatever the quote was he learned in Africa, he was saying like we got to stop pulling people out of the river and start going upstream and figure out why they falling into the river.
Yeah.
So instead of keep trying to pick our people up,
Prevent it.
let's prevent them from even falling down into falling through the cracks. And
So-
that right there, I was like, yo, this
Yeah.
So my question is, would that be considered preactive then? Because that's
that's being proactive.
Proactive. 'Cause,
No,
you know, I'm
proactive is like, you know, you acting during thing, but isn't it like because he's doing it, he's trying to prevent it all, so like that's getting to the root before it becomes an issue. So wouldn't that be
I say still proactive because it's like being reactive, being proactive.
Bro, I don't know, man.
Hey man, it doesn't matter. You know what he meant. It's getting ahead of the issue, and that's really what we're trying to get down to is how can he be better for us? How can he be, what can he do for New York City that hasn't already been done? And he displayed it that he came from prejudice. He was saying that he got beat up by the cops when he was young, and his mom. He's one of 6 children with a single family mom.
And it's actually interesting because of the fact that
he grew up in South.
Well, he was born in Brooklyn, then they moved to South Side. So moved to Queens Head, went to high school, and obviously he went to school in Queens. So he went to Bayside.
They trash. But anyway, but what I was saying, it's crazy how even though he was a former police officer, he still was against. Like, I mean, he still was for defunding the police, but people don't understand the reason and the logic behind it all. And it's not. He
wasn't for defunding the police. He was more of like shifting where the money goes and how it's
defunding,
moved.
My brother.
No, defunding is just taking money out.
No.
He was trying
taking
to
the money and relocating it. That's
not defunding.
No,
bro.
like
That's
basically,
the money.
he was saying that because this is defunding the police. He wasn't saying take away the money that's going to this. He was saying
it should be put in a better place.
But in the same system. So instead of having civilians a part of the police force, that's not defund. That's not defunding the police. That's putting the power somewhere else and letting them do it. That's how I understood it.
It's still in the same process. In the same lick, it's still defunding them because it's cheaper. So they're cutting the expenses and they're putting the money elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? His approach is different. It's more so like he wants to cut the expenses and the overtime pay that they're doing.
Like from the BS of sitting down. Okay. All right. So if that's what you want to say, how defunding, then okay. All right. So then in that definition, I guess it is defunding. To me, I just don't like that statement defund.
When you say defunding, it's not we don't want to pay you. It's just we want to get rid of the wasted money, the excess pay. We want to put that into something that's more important.
Too much extra nonsense going on.
It's just the verbiage just throws me off. I don't know, but that was valid. That's valid. What else did
and also when he was saying like the trust fund, like with the cops, like you put in trust fund babies, like what he was saying,
in charge of people
from the hood, like
it's funny.
You having people that haven't experienced it and experienced that neighborhood, enforce that neighborhood, so they're pushing.
Yeah, now they're putting in that area and putting in predicaments that they're not really able to, live with. Like they're not. I mean, not live with, but they're not able to handle it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they get scary and stuff.
But also, on our part, the stigma of you want to be a cop, you want to go be one of the Jakes.
We don't support
that.
Yeah.
But it's kind of
but the thing is now, think about it. Our generation, we talk about we don't talk to the boys. Yeah. You want to be one of the pigs. You want to be a pig.
But it's funny.
I mean, and what he was saying is,
but I ain't a rat.
No, not being
condoning rats.
No, he's not talking about rats. He's talking about being a police officer. Basically, we're proud to do everything else, but we're not proud to be police officers. We're not proud to protect our own
police officers.
And he was saying that we push people to we push people to be doctors. We push people to be lawyers, but we don't push people to help enforce
the law
and keep us safe. So keep us safe. Mm-hmm. We don't push that. We look down on that because we think. Yeah. But in reality, you would want someone looking like you from your community, enforcing the rules and regulations, whatever. In
that
your
would make
community.
you feel better walking outside and
feel a little safer.
That's my man. That's Officer.
I grew up with him.
He's cool over there.
So I liked how he brought that up. But him just getting to the root of problems.
That's what we really need to. That's what
a mayor needs to do. So the message that he was giving off, I fully support that.
And he said even if he doesn't, become the mayor, he's gonna enjoy the journey. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy the journey.
Also, that was a good gem because as humans, we need to learn to just enjoy the process, enjoy the journey.
And even if we don't get the exact thing that we want.
Exactly.
It's not about what we want. It's really about enjoying the process, and you might have been, your purpose was to do a certain job, and you did your job. If you didn't get to where you wanted to, it wasn't meant for you.
You touched somebody.
Yeah, you wasn't supposed to do that. Maybe you were supposed to pass the baton to somebody else.
Yeah.
Maybe Eric Adams was supposed to inspire Jabril to go be the next congressman, and do something.
Oh,
but maybe that was
Congressman
maybe that was Eric Adams' purpose if he doesn't become mayor.
Yeah.
Because actually, when you think about it, he's scaring a lot of people.
Yeah.
The thing, like what he was talking about, he's scaring a lot of people. He literally said that he was coming to turn up tables in New York City. Eric Adams said, "I'm coming to turn up tables in New York City.
Coming to shake the room, pop smoke."
So Eric Adams is not coming to play around. He's not coming to be
not at
like
all.
to tit for tat. He's coming here for actual true change, and he was saying that
I like to see that.
like the youth, he's been exactly where we was at, and we can relate to him, and also how he needs us to connect with him.
Like he's not the smartest person in the world. Like you don't got to be the smartest person in the world. You don't got to have this type of connection, this type of
Yeah,
that.
you just gotta have that drive and that will. He made that commitment when he got arrested.
Yeah,
And he got and
he said
the
that
cop
full point plan.
the
that he
cop
had.
told him, you never don't pick up your son. He's not gonna amount to nothing.
Hey, what
and
you-
he said to like, yo, I'm gonna do this for my mom. I'm
I'm gonna get
mom,
this
I'm gonna
done.
pay you back.
And you gonna see, and she's seen the fruits of his labor. So
And and that was a beautiful story.
beautiful.
The same thing we
man.
doing, mom. I'm gonna pay you. I'm gonna pay you back.
Yeah, you already know.
Hey.
I got you.
Like that's definitely. I actually felt really good about that. That actually touched me in a crazy way.
And it's crazy because he's been on both sides of the spectrum. He's been the people enforcing the laws. He's been the one having the law being enforced on him.
Then he's the one that's making the laws, writing the laws.
And
you know what
now,
I'm saying?
now he want to be actually making sure.
Yeah, we gonna
there's
control
change
something
that-
now.
yeah,
We
so
gonna make changes.
What I absolutely loved, which we gotta get on. We gotta figure out a way how to execute what he said.
Yeah,
You see how we just had a conversation with him and just young people to a politician.
Yeah, we want to bridge the gap.
We want to get somehow, some way. I guess we'll contact him and see how we could work that.
yeah, that's in the
Basically,
future, man.
that's we gonna try to get that. We gonna try to get that going
done.
soon. He was saying that have people that are running for office, have them
Respond
come
to
to
us.
our neighborhoods and talk to us. And
Yeah.
and now they gotta answer
Talk to
us.
the youth, talk
It's
to the
very
community.
important. You got to talk
because-
to the youth because we the ones in charge of the future.
Yeah, but it's our job to voice that and to say we want your candidates or whoever to come to this auditorium or whatever this group is and to answer our questions. How are you going to help us, not help everyone? You know what I'm saying?
Ask the people
Yeah.
directly.
Yeah,
Let
ask the people
ask
direct-
questions. You know what I'm
to
saying?
the neighborhoods that need it,
Yeah.
that need the most help. Come and prove yourself, and to the young people.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time, also, young people, we already got that mindset of like
Yeah,
whatever.
I'm not voting.
So I feel like that right there,
Yeah.
that we definitely need to orchestrate that. And if we could get that going, that'd be powerful right there. And maybe we might get in the room with some other people in power, other people in office.
Yeah.
And now we can start saying, how is this candidate getting better?
Because it's very important, though. You think it's not important, but it's very important to know who you're voting into office. You know what I'm saying? Because they control certain things that we probably don't. We take for advantage. You know what I'm saying? So
All right, yeah.
make sure you do that. And we gonna do that. We gonna have them people come out.
We gonna
and talk,
we
you know what I'm
gotta
saying?
whoever knows somebody that can
We
somehow
gonna-
organize that.
we gonna
message
reach out. We gonna see what's up.
message us and let's go put our boots on the ground and get outside and actually do something like
Yeah.
that. Let's get in the field, let's get in the streets and
Exactly, because like these people want to be responsible for our city. So
so
you got to answer to us.
Yeah.
You want to be in control.
We the people.
People are the ones that have the power. We gotta keep it that way.
anybody that knows someone that can organize that, reach out to us,
Reach out to us and we can
and
see.
we are 100% willing to figure that out and taking the steps, taking them baby steps to making something actually happen and that we can see actually change.
I want to touch on another thing he said that I felt like was really cool when he was like how when you plant a seed in the soil, It has to go through the pressures of trying to get through the soil so it could blossom as
Yeah.
a flower.
It needs that for growth, so
Yeah.
it could be strong enough
You know,
to
yeah.
produce fruit.
Yeah, so you
And
like
it's-
go through the you gotta go through the
Like,
trials and
You're
tribulations.
saying like you don't grow unless you're buried.
Yeah, you staying in your comfort zone. What are you doing in
Like
your
you have to be buried
Yeah.
under
He emphasized
situations.
that you have to like growth only occurs when there's uncomfortable situations.
Yeah.
Like you have to be uncomfortable. Like growing pains. Like when I was little, bro. When I started growing, bro, I remember I had those growing pains in my knees.
Yeah.
So it's like it's
In
the
your
same
knees,
thing.
you said?
Yeah,
Yeah, like your growth plates.
You never growth
Growth
plates.
planes in your knees?
Growing pains.
Growth-
I had
growing
growth
pains in
plates. Yeah, when you're young, you have growth plates in your knees.
All right.
So it's like that's how you get taller, bro.
Oh.
So
I'm sorry, I'm dumb.
you ain't dumb. You just didn't know that.
I
That's
say
all.
no. Now you know.
Sitting there,
We
start
doing
talking
better
about
today.
The epiphysis and the shaft. Yeah,
We not
nah,
doing
Yeah,
that.
that's what he said. Always be learning,
We
right?
not- we not
He was
gonna get
talking about-
scientific on it.
He talking about y'all kids not gonna have no summertime no more. But look at it.
But look,
The knowledge gap right
what they
there with
should
our
do,
kids.
what I was thinking when he said that, it made me realize it should be like summer school shouldn't be like, oh, you're learning English. No, you should be learning life skills. Like, you
Yeah,
should-
yeah.
Like we should constantly have our kids in the schools. I believe that.
Yes.
Like, but it's not, oh, they going to school to learn English. No, that's during the fall. Summertime, they learning life. They learn how to communicate.
Teach
They
them how
learn
to be
Yeah,
social.
basic,
Yeah.
basic skills that like they don't learn.
And those are
I
some
can
of the
say
programs.
I be out here having social anxiety and all that.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be scared to say certain things, or scared to, because I'm thinking like, oh, maybe they're thinking this, you know. But maybe if there was classes that taught me how to articulate and like not really be
So nervous.
so
how to-
nervous
how to-
in
yeah, yeah.
conversation.
You would have to do it yourself.
You have to just
yourself.
learn how to do it yourself. You teach yourself.
But even just getting into a space where you're still constantly learning. Because remember, he's saying the school system hasn't changed since it's been implemented. You sit
Yeah.
in front of a teacher and they just they
Teachers
force
just-
feed you this.
yeah.
It's
And that's
crazy
it.
because it's like that. And then what some teachers, because there are different dynamics. You know, when you teaching, you kind of get
Yeah,
to
yeah,
freestyle.
yeah.
What some teachers be trying to do now, which I find it very important, is like you trying to give the powers to the kids. You trying to let the kids talk because you learn through conversation.
Yeah, you learn through
know what I'm saying?
conversation.
So teachers be trying to push the kids to have those conversations. So imagine now if we have the proper funds being implemented and now the school systems are being supported in the correct
There's
way.
better
Now,
program
every-
going
so
on.
if every school has a summer program that you have to go through. I say don't have like a grade attached to it.
Yeah.
But always constantly like pouring into the students.
Yeah.
I think that
We'll
is
do a
very
lot better.
important. What's very important, especially for the youth in these crazy times, is definitely just planting the seed of hope and motivation, and have a confidence class or something
Yeah,
like that
yeah.
that empowers you,
Yeah.
not just keeps telling. And this honestly, this is people don't want you to think for yourself and to be empowered. And this is why we
It's
got we
scary
got
when you start thinking for yourself when you woke.
So
like
they
he said, there's a lot
so
of
they
blue
want-
pill guys out
Yeah,
here.
they want you to be in the matrix. They want you to just
yeah.
There's
Nah,
nothing more
nah.
dangerous than a young black man with a mind of his own.
just people in general, people that think
Yeah.
for themselves. Like people at the top, they want to control what you think.
They like, don't worry about him.
How he said with the Lynch, Willie
Lynch.
Lynch.
Yeah.
There's a manual saying we don't got to worry about Eric Adams because by feeding these people this right here, they gonna be messed up for life.
Self-destruction.
Yeah,
So-
they gonna kill
So
themselves.
now we start feeding our youth positivity. We feeding our youth. You have some value. You are worth something.
You gotta realize
You know what I'm
that,
saying?
like-
You have the potential to do whatever you put your
especially
mind to.
being black. Like that's the most important thing. Especially being black, you have potential. You don't have to do what you see everybody else doing. You can do anything.
Yeah.
As long as you put your mind to it. Period.
You don't got to go to Yale. You could go to jail.
You can go to jail.
And
And
that's
still
not the
be
end of
in
your
jail.
story.
That's not the end.
That's a part. That's a small chapter in your life to where
One thing I want to touch on that's just beautiful because that shows like, as long as you stay in the fight, you didn't lose. So as long as you keep going, you stay motivated, you give yourself purpose. Every time you look for the next step,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Because he was in jail. He could have took that and be like, oh, made an excuse for himself. Oh, I'm a convict, blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah.
yeah.
He ain't do none of that.
Come out drinking, became a drunk. You know what I'm saying?
and no one's gonna help me.
Yeah, like,
it's
what-
over. It's not
what
worth
was the saying?
it.
He said, He said, with the problems, what was it? The saying.
Turn your pain into
Turn your pain into purpose.
Yes. He
Hey.
took his pain right there, gave himself a
into
purpose. Said, Mama, I'm gonna pay you back.
I'm gonna do something with myself. I'm not gonna let this define me. Like, just because I'm down, it's not going to define who I'm going to be or my outcome in life. You know what I'm saying? He really did what he had to do.
And he's a true example of, you know how everyone who is successful, everyone who has made everyone who has what they do want in life, who has achieved so much, and the difference between someone who has achieved much and who hasn't is the fact that they kept going. 100% of the people that stopped failed.
That remind me, Nipsey said it
100
best.
people that kept going because they tell you the story of how they made it. I never stopped.
It's a marathon. It's not a race, man.
It's a marathon.
Keep going.
This randomly, I don't know why me just saying that had me think of a story that I heard from Zig Ziglar. He was saying, "How do you train flies?" You're saying, "Yeah, how do you train a fly? I mean, a flea. How do you train a flea?"
Yeah.
You put the flea in a cup, and they'll keep jumping. You cover the cup. They'll keep jumping and hitting the ceiling. But eventually, they'll stop jumping as high, and then now they'll just be jumping mid, and now they quit. They quit trying to jump outside of it. Now you
couldn't do it.
Now you could take the cup. Now you could take the cover off the cup, and they'll never get out the cup because they were trained. They were trained to just give up, and eventually they'll just not.
Yeah.
So
that's it.
So now is us. The people who break that barrier, the people that keep jumping, keep jumping.
Keep jumping.
Keep
Moral
pushing,
story.
keep doing
Keep
something.
jumping.
And don't let you keep hitting resistance. You keep hitting resistance. You keep hitting resistance to make you stop jumping as high as you can. Try 100, give 100% every time, and don't stop. And then once you out that cup, you gonna say, "What was your formula?" I did not quit.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's
man.
it. That's what Jay-Z said. The genius thing that we did was
all
we
the
didn't
greatest
quit.
things. Yeah,
That's it.
all the greatest said that.
So-
You ask them what they did right, they ain't never quit.
And if it doesn't work out one way, you just learned one new way to do something. You learned a lesson. A loss ain't a loss. It's a lesson.
Yeah.
Period.
That really made
It's a wrap.
me happy. Yeah, we pretty much done.
Well, guys, we are done here.
See
Catch you
y'all
guys
on the
later.
next episode.
We
Oh, we gotta do better.